Folks, welcome back. This just in, Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly today asked the Supreme Court to block his state from taking further action to certify its election results, showing a win for Beijing Biden as he challenges his state's mail-in ballot rules. For the latest on this, we're joined by presidential political analyst and former advisor to both Presidents Clinton and Trump, Dick Morris. Mr. Morris, always good to see you.
Right.
Do you think the Supreme Court will take up this mail-in ballot case in Pennsylvania before the Electoral College meets in December?
Well, they have to take up something, whether it's that case or Sidney Powell's case or the 4 or 5 Giuliani cases. They have to. My bet is they'll probably consolidate them all and deal with them. If they simply deny certiorari, what do we have a Supreme Court for? And I think a lot of people will be asking that question.
Okay, let's talk about Georgia. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who was on President Trump's list, he is starting to go after Stacey Abrams. Apparently, she's got a group down there that she has founded that is aggressively registering people who are ineligible to vote in her state, which shows you the integrity of Stacey Abrams or lack thereof. But what confidence do you have that if this kind of shenanigans is going on in advance of the January special elections for the senators, that this kind of stuff wasn't going on in November's election?
Well, I have no confidence in that. But let's look at the January 5th election by itself. It is perhaps more critical now than even the presidential race. If the Democrats win the Senate, win those 2 seats in Georgia, they will immediately repeal the filibuster rule, say pass a bill with just a majority vote, just like Pelosi does in the House in a matter of minutes. Secondly, they'll pack the Supreme Court, probably adding 4 new judges. So a 6-3 conservative majority becomes a 6-7 liberal majority. And thirdly, they'll probably admit Puerto Rico and D.C. as states, adding 4 new Democratic senators and about 9 new Democratic congressmen. And goodbye checks and balances, goodbye our 3 branches of government. And what's happening now is that in the January 5th runoff, the Democrats are preparing to do the exact same thing they did to us in November. And the Republicans are going along with it and walking willingly the second time into the hangman's noose. What needs to happen is the state legislature of Georgia needs to come into session and do 4 things. And they lay them out on my website, dickmorris.com. First, they have to sever the relationship with Dominion vote counting system. If necessary, tabulate the ballots by hand. These people cannot be trusted. And in the future, I'll be giving evidence that they're actually, in part, owned by the Chinese government. Secondly, they have to supersede the consent decree that they entered into with the Democratic Party to limit the verification of signatures, such that if the person puts the wrong year of birth for himself, that doesn't disqualify him. That has to go. Signature verification has to be absolute. Thirdly, they need to be sure that the envelopes in which the ballots came are permanently attached to the ballot, probably by stapling them, so that you know if your vote is fraudulent and the signature doesn't match, you know which vote to throw out. And finally, they need to set up a system 4 days after the election. The legislature needs to require the Secretary of State to give both parties the list of those who voted. He hasn't given it yet for the November election. They've requested it 5 or 6 times. And then they need 7 days to review it, to match it against death certificates and people who've moved, so that they can ascertain that each of those was okay to vote. Now, this will probably delay the election past January 5th. I don't know if they can accommodate all of that within the 3 or 4 weeks that are left, in which case the legislature has to indicate that it is okay to either leave those seats vacant or leave the incumbent Republican senators in those seats, or ask the governor to appoint 2 new interim senators that'll be gone when the new senators, or the old ones, if they're reelected, take over. Unless they do those steps, we're going to have the same larceny that we had last month.
Yeah, you know what I want? I want election day to come back. I'm tired of election month or election weeks. I'm just tired of it. Dick Morris, everybody. You can get Dick's daily commentary at dickmorris.com.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.